Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be explaining how to use circular needles. I recommend watching my previous video and learning how to do the basic knit stitches and how to use straight needles before watching this video. So what are circular needles anyway? So let's just refresh on what straight needles do. Straight needles just continue to knit the fabric straight. So it just builds up the fabric like that. For circular needles, instead of knitting in rows, you're knitting in rounds. So visualize like a spiral. You're just building row upon row without stopping. So the fabric builds up like this. So you knit around. And then instead of going back this way, you go around like this and you just knit like it's a spiral until it builds up like a big fabric. So let's start knitting. So I have my circular needles here, and for my yarn I'm just using plain old acrylic weight 4 yarn. And my circular needles here are kind of short. They're 12-inch 5mm, but the method for all circular needles are all the same. So I'm just gonna start by casting on the same method as the straight needles. I'm gonna start by making my slip knot. And then just doing the basic cast on. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention that you also can knit flat, just like circular needles, and just ignore the bottom wire, just knit like this, just like regular knitting, like in rows, but most people use it for knitting in the round. And I'll meet you back when I'm finished casting on the whole needle. So once I finished casting on, it's important to make sure the stitches aren't twisted so the project doesn't come out all twisted and kind of weird looking. And to start knitting, just do like the normal knit stitch. Oh yeah, and don't forget to put the stitch marker so you don't lose the beginning of round, because once you start knitting in the round, everything looks the same. When I finish up the first round, you can see that I'm back at the stitch marker that signifies the end of the round. So all I have to do is slip the marker and just keep knitting in the round until I'm at my desired length. So this is like the spiral that I was talking about earlier. We're just knitting just around and around and around until the fabric grows long. And then when we are done, we're just going to cast off like we normally do. So it's the knit 2 and then the pull the bottom loop over the top loop that I was talking about in the last video. It's just like that, and just keep knitting. And I'm also going to take this chance to teach you how to do the magic loop method, because some of you might not have like a small needle like I just did, and you might just have like a long needle like this, and you might need to knit smaller things like a sock or a sweater sleeve, and you might not want to use double pointed needles because they can be kind of stressful. So the magic loop method really was helpful. So just cast on like normal, cast on your desired amount of stitches. So I went ahead and casted on 30 stitches, and as you can see, the 30 stitches do not cover the whole needle. It's only like a small part of it. So what I'm going to do next is pull all the stitches to the middle of the needle, and then find about the halfway point. It doesn't need to be exact. And then split it in half like this. And then pull them both to each needle. It can be kind of difficult if you have a long needle like this one. And don't worry if it like pulls. One of my biggest worries is that the stitches are going to be like pulled or loosened at the bottom here, but don't worry about that. It doesn't affect the end fabric too much. And then the same for this side. So once all the stitches are on, are like divided and on each needle, the side of stitches with a working yarn, you can pull it back, not all the way to the bottom again, just kind of like halfway like that. And then now your right hand needle is empty. And also make sure the stitches aren't twisted again. It's important in all knitting pieces for the stitches not to be twisted. And then, so our right hand needle is empty. And then by knitting, we'll be just joining, basically, if that makes sense. So your working yarn is still on the right side, but just knit a stitch to join. And just knit all the way down this needle. So once I finish knitting all these stitches on this side of the needle, it'll look something like this. And you can kind of see it's already knitting in the round shape. And then we'll just repeat that. So the stitches on this side that we haven't worked, that we pulled down previously, we're going to pull it back up to the needle on its side. So now as you can see, the side that we just worked now has the working on its side. So we're just going to flip it around and pull this side down now since it has the working yarn. And then make sure to leave a long enough cable so you can like knit and maneuver so it's not like too tight. And now we're just going to be knitting this side. And then yeah, just repeat that until you get your desired length. So yeah, you can knit a variety of items with circular needles, such as socks, sweaters, hats, or anything in the round or circular shaped. And the magic loop technique was seriously a game changer for me, and I really hope that this tutorial helped you.